Nobody believed it when we heard the news. A 10-year-old boy had sold his father's multimillion-dollar company for a red toy car. At first, it sounded like a bad joke. But I saw the aftermath with my own eyes, and I still can't explain what happened. It started when Mr. Amankwa, one of the richest men in our town, called for an emergency meeting at his home. He looked nothing like the confident businessman we all knew. His tie was loose, his hair disheveled, and his hands trembled as he spoke. "My son. Adoma," he paused, taking a deep breath. He sold the company. The room fell silent. We stared at him, waiting for him to explain. "To who?" someone asked. "That's the thing," he replied, his voice cracking. "I don't know." Adoma, his 10-year-old son, was sitting quietly on the living room floor, rolling a shiny red toy car back and forth. He didn't seem to care about the chaos around him. The story began 2 days earlier. Adoma had gone to the market with his nanny. While she haggled with a vendor, Adoma wandered off. That's when he met the man. He was tall and thin, dressed in a sharp black suit that looked out of place in the dusty market. He had sunglasses on, even though the sky was cloudy. The man knelt down and smiled at Adoma. "That's a nice toy car you have there," he said, pointing to the old, scratched car in Adoma's hand. Adoma nodded, clutching it tightly. "But wouldn't you like something better?" the man continued. "Something new, shiny, and unbreakable." Adoma's eyes lit up. "Really? Can you give me one?" "Of course," the man said, pulling out a sleek red toy car that seemed to gleam unnaturally. "But everything comes with a price. What do you want?" Adoma asked, his voice curious but cautious. The man grinned, showing perfect white teeth. "Your father's company." Adoma frowned. "How can I give you that?" The man held out a piece of paper. "You just have to sign this. It's easy." Adoma hesitated. He was only 10 and didn't understand what the man was asking for. But the shiny toy car was too tempting. He signed. When Adoma got home that evening, he proudly showed off his new toy car. His father barely noticed, buried in his work as usual. But the next morning, things started to unravel. First, the company's bank accounts were frozen. Then the staff received emails saying their contracts had been terminated. By noon, lawyers were calling to confirm that the company had been sold. "That's impossible," Mr. Amankwa shouted into the phone. "I didn't sell anything." But the paperwork said otherwise. The documents had his son's signature, clear as day. When Mr. Amankwa confronted Adoma, the boy didn't seem to understand what he had done. "But I didn't sell the company," Adoma said, holding up his toy car. "I just traded it for this." "Who did you trade with?" his father demanded, his voice shaking with anger and fear. "The man in the market," Adoma replied. "What man?" Adoma shrugged. He said it was a fair deal. The next few days were chaos. The company was gone, transferred to an anonymous owner. The lawyers couldn't find any loopholes in the paperwork, and the mysterious buyer couldn't be traced. Adoma's father was desperate. He tried to get Adoma to describe the man, but the boy could only give vague details: tall, thin, wearing sunglasses. The toy car, however, seemed almost alive. No matter how roughly Adoma played with it, it never scratched or dented. And at night, faint whispers could be heard from his room, like the sound of someone talking or laughing. Then, one night, everything changed. I was at the house when it happened. We were all in the living room, trying to come up with a plan to fix the situation. Suddenly, the lights flickered, and a cold wind blew through the room even though the windows were closed. Adoma stood up, holding the toy car. "He's here," he said quietly. Before anyone could stop him, he walked to the front door and opened it. The man in the black suit was standing there, smiling. "Hello, Adoma," the man said, his voice smooth and unsettling. "Who are you?" Mr. Amanko demanded, stepping forward. The man ignored him and knelt down to Adoma's level. "Are you happy with your car?" Adoma nodded. "Good," the man said. "Then our deal is complete." He stood up and turned to leave, but Mr. Amanko grabbed his arm. "Wait. What do you want? Why are you doing this?" The man's smile faded, and for the first time, his expression turned cold. "Your son made the deal willingly. You should teach him the value of things." With that, he vanished. The toy car disappeared the next morning. Adoma cried, saying it wasn't fair. His father, meanwhile, was left with nothing. The company was gone, and no one could explain how it had happened. To this day, people in the town still talk about it. Some say the man was a spirit, sent to teach a lesson. Others think it was a scam so perfect it defied logic. But one thing is certain, Adoma's story will never be forgotten.